Welcome to the Safe Space Running Podcast, hosted by myself, Chris Glover, where our mission is to empower, encourage, and enable all runners, no matter their fitness. I am truly honored to have today's guest, Faith Chima. Thank you so much for your time. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you. How are you doing?
It's Friday. I'm so glad it's going to be a good weekend. I don't have any major races for a change, which goes to my next question. What do you have lined up race wise or so? What do you got on the docket?
I don't have anything on the docket except rest.
I'm with you on that. Oh, this rest period has been the best. This whole nothing on a schedule, nothing of that nature. I don't think it's been a while since I've had that. I usually roll right into different trading blocks each time. But I'm glad to hear that we're both resting for a change.
Yes.
So today, I really wanted to talk about FittSafe. It's a business that I was able. My first time interacting with you and learning about FittSafe was down during the race in Atlanta earlier this year, where I'm
Right.
seeing all these women wearing the race gear, it's broader on the chest, just boom. But it had a particular function to it, which was very intriguing. And I looked more into it and spoke with different participants there was one common theme around the gear and the apparel, and safety was the word that kept coming up. It was about, making sure women are being protected. They have safety gear on, reflective gear, pouches, things of that nature. And I it was my first time ever seeing gear created that way, to a sense where safety was the identity, so to speak, of that. So I wanted to learn a little bit more from you, and if you don't mind, can you describe, what was the reason for FitSafe? What was your motivation behind it, and things of that nature.
So you hit the nail on the head. It was safety. I was looking for activewear that had inbuilt safety features in it because I was just tired of having to grab multiple running accessories just to go outside. And it all started, this was during the pandemic. I was running just to clear my head, as a mom of three, working full time as an attorney. My husband was actively working outside of the house, but I was working remotely. So I was stuck in the house. I was stuck with housework, homeschooling against my wish, like so many other parents. Because that is not for me. God bless those that do it, and more power to you. But it's not for me at all. And as the days went on, I began to become more anxious. I was a less patient mom. So I was just looking for a release, and running pretty much saved my life. I had done competitive track
Mm,
in high school. So I just felt like, okay, a very easy thing for me to do right now is just to go outside and run. And the only time that I could do this, like so many other busy moms or single professionals, was either early in the mornings or late in the evenings. And so for me,
mm,
it was at 5:30 a.m. So
ooh.
I started going for runs. Yes, 5:30. I would be back around 6:15, and I would just jump straight into getting the kids, ready for the day. But I just began to notice a change in the way that I was showing up as a mom, as a wife, the way I was running my household. I
Mm.
was way more present. This went on for weeks blissfully until one morning my husband was like, "You realize it's dark and you're just going out by yourself." And he planted the seed, and I never really thought about it until one morning I was just thinking about my safety. And for me, I felt like, okay, there must be clothing that can enhance my safety. Not thinking that the clothing would be the solution, but I just wanted something that would
Mm.
make me feel more confident. And there's a psychology with clothing. That would mean the difference between you showing up to a meeting wearing pajamas as opposed to wearing a suit. If you show up, dressed for the occasion, you show up that your posture is different. The way you present
Mm.
to the world is different. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for safety. I was also looking for functionality, but I wanted to look cute. Okay. I didn't want
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it had to be stylish. I didn't want to wear a reflective vest. I just did not want to do that. So I was looking for these three things, and in my opinion, I couldn't find anything. And being an attorney, the more that I dug into the research, I began to
Mm.
become annoyed. You know, I, and,
Yeah.
and, and throughout my childhood, I've just been a person that is a problem solver. I always look for solutions to societal issues. I think that's another story, but that's what led me to
Yeah.
going to law school and becoming an attorney. So I was just like, if there's none, I'm gonna make mine. And I was very intentional with the naming. I wanted to put
Mm.
safety in the name because a big part of our mission is not just the clothing, it's the education. And so we
Yeah.
do safety workshops, but we like to keep it simple. Um, and I believe wearing intelligent clothing does make a difference. So that's a long-winded way of saying.
No, that's perfect because that's the more I dug into it, I thought it was interesting that it's less about it's not necessarily the or it's less about just the clothing and having something fashionable. The fact that it's so intertwined with the mission of safety. I've noticed on the website that you guys are doing a recent survey to learn more about women's safety. Can you describe that a little bit more?
Yeah, so what I found from my research is there's not a lot of data. There's not a
Mm.
lot of data on lived experiences of women. And so this is what typically happens. One group says it's fear mongering. Another group just completely dismisses it. And then another group just takes it and creates all this panic. There's a lot of misinformation when it comes to what women really experience as runners.
Mm.
So I wanted to contribute to that voice in making sure that we had data to back up these claims.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, a lot of these cases go unreported. And the reason they
Mm.
go unreported is one, the women don't want to relieve these experiences. There's a lot of shame. It's typically dismissed. And then they fear for their safety because if you're going to file a police report, that information is public.
Yeah.
So, and then if the data doesn't support what we're experiencing, then it's very easy for people to dismiss it. So I felt like our voice matters. And that's the only way that we can get the word out is to contribute to the data because I'm a data person, I'm a
Yeah.
research person, because the facts don't lie. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that's one of the things that we're doing.
I thought that was really important that you're pulling up and trying to get that data because to be completely transparent, that's something that as a male I don't experience. It's something that I don't come across, and I think you're right. There's been cases where it's been easy to dismiss because sometimes we're not the ones going through that. And as you mentioned, a lot of women that I know of don't report it, or they don't report it because of the items you talked about. But I truly believe it's a problem that a lot of times can be not given the proper attention that it's due is a good way to
Yes.
put that. And I really love that that's so integral to what the business and the branding is about. I thought that was something that I see a lot. You mentioned reflective vests. I have a couple myself, which are kind of clunky and bulky and things like that. But the fact that you've made something fashionable, but yet really putting forward that safety aspect is super is impressive, and I'm for one grateful because again my wife has mentioned different times of where I don't feel safe going out and things of that nature, and having businesses like this, especially to be candid, having businesses, black owned businesses who are really thinking about that aspect for women running, whether it be at night or in the morning, having an option that's both fashionable and safe is what we need in this market, is what we need more of that. So I wanted to go to the next question because this is obviously have made traction. I've noticed that you had some partnerships with Black Girls Run and the race. Do you mind describing those and how the impact that you've seen in those partnerships and what you're trying to do?
So it's been amazing. It's funny. The collaboration with Black Girls Run was a full circle moment for me. So
Mm,
I used to work at the hearing office on the Social Security. So if your claims got denied on state level and you filed to the federal, we would be the ones handling it. So one of our judges was a member of Black Girls Run. She's retired
mm.
now. She would always, ask me to come out for runs, but they go for runs at 4:30. I'm like, no, I can't do that. But I noticed like she was just always so present, so positive. Like
Mm,
she would be like, listen, I'm telling you, if you join us, like you do the run and then you come to the office, because we had the option to show up at I believe six o'clock. So you could clock in at 6 o'clock and be done by 3 p.m. Having worked your full shift.
yeah.
He was like, no, I can't do that. But she was very strong. It was an older lady, but just really strong and really positive. So it was funny. She's actually at the video, the launch campaign that we
Oh,
had.
wow.
Yeah. So for me, it was very important because okay, so I'll circle back to how I met the CEO
Oh, yeah,
Jay.
she's dope.
I met her at the Sweat Your Soul conference in Chicago. They had that in 2024. And Black Girls Run was just amazing. They fell in love with FittSafe. A lot of them bought the
Mm,
leggings, the bra, and they wore them on race day, came back with great reviews. So it was just a partnership made in heaven. So that's what started the conversation.
mm,
And then circle back to now, we now have a collaboration. So for the collaboration, it was very important for me for people to see the sisterhood that
mm.
is within Black Girls Run. Because a lot of times you hear all paces are welcome, you hear all of this on paper, but I wanted people to see it. And then plus, I wanted to highlight my city because I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay,
So I
okay.
wanted to put them on the map. It's a smaller town, but everything that I do is local. If you go on our website, all of our models are local, the
Wow.
videographers, everybody that I work with, because I just like to show like there's a lot of talent here. And it doesn't matter where you live. If you dig hard enough, you find what you're looking for. So we had them, they came out, and she also came out as well. She was in the video. So it's been great. It's
Awesome.
just like a match made in heaven. They love FitSafe. They already use, a lot of them use our products. And this is just a great addition to their routines because a lot of them run early in the morning. So
Hmm.
having a personal safety alarm that has a flashlight, it has a very high pitched alarm, and it's rechargeable. It's something that's great for them to carry.
There's one thing you mentioned that I think sums up so much of what you do and how you carry your business. And you said sisterhood. And
Yeah.
that was so evident at Atlanta during the race when all of those women down there had your gear on, but they had such a sense of pride and glee in wearing that. And it looked good for one. They all was definitely fashionable, but I think that speaks a lot into your business model and how you really you say you shop around for local for your business, but you have a genuine care for your sisters and those in the community. And it truly shows in your business. So I, for one, wanted to
Thank you.
thank you for what you're doing. And these are your flowers for contributing to the running culture, contributing to the running and walk culture to ensure that women have a fashionable option to be safe, especially now that we're in daylight savings and it gets dark at like 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. So, I mean, but
Yes.
having that option and again being able to emphasize safety by providing workshops and providing or if for those watching please take the survey, contribute to that data if you can. My last question for you, since you are a runner and walker, is what would be one thing you would suggest to someone who's brand new to it all, who's never done it before, who may be a little discouraged or whatnot? What would you encourage them for?
I would encourage them to just go outside. I know there are all of these things on the internet on the perfect running shoe, the perfect running gear. just go outside and be present. A
Mm.
great thing about the outdoors, I'm obsessed with nature. I'm obsessed with sunsets and sunrises because there's a consistency to it. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what is going on. It doesn't matter, the challenges, the difficulties that you're experiencing. You know, when morning comes, there's going to be a sunrise. And that's a chance for you to rewrite your story. It's a chance for you to connect with yourself. I feel like as women, we need to create those spaces for ourselves. And going outside, there's something very freeing with going outside. I believe Mother Earth is a that's a reason why they call it
Yeah.
Mother Earth. The earth
Mm.
is very nurturing. The outdoors is very nurturing, but you won't discover that if you don't step outside. So forget about, all of the intimidating information about running. Just keep it simple. And a great thing that I like to do is to encourage women of all ages because there's
Mm.
something to be said about the lack of representation. As women get older, you don't see them represented in campaigns, in launch
Mm-hmm.
campaigns, in marketing publications. But when you go to the marathons, the races,
Mm-hmm.
who are these people?
Yeah.
So my customers have inspired me a lot. So when we first launched FittSafe, our oldest model was 68 years old.
Wow.
Okay. So I wanted to represent like the different age groups that I was seeing at the expos because when we first launched, we took the product to the market. So I was attending for the first year. I went to over 12 marathon expos
Wow.
and it allowed me to talk to the customer. Like the data that I got from that was priceless.
Wow.
And I began to see firsthand who these runners are. So don't be intimidated by what you see online. Understand that a lot of these women are older. A lot of them
Mm-hmm.
don't have like the perfect shape. I had a friend who flew in from Texas to support me at the race.
Okay.
She had never run a 5K before. She ran a 5K for the first time. And she said, when she looked around, she was like, I was surrounded by women that were older than me. And she's like,
Yep.
if they can do it,
Mm-hmm.
I can. And so that goes to show that running is really simple, but a lot of us insist on making it complicated. So just keep it
Mm.
simple. Go outside, go for a run. It's just same like with what you're doing. My daughter just kept on talking about it. I met Superman. I'm telling you, she went to school. You could not tell her nothing. She said, I
Oh.
met Superman. I ran my first 5K and I
Oh.
met Superman. So, yeah. So I applaud you. I love what you're doing. You never know what impact you're making. So
Well,
I
that's
just want
the
us to keep it simple.
I like that. I like that. I tell athletes that all the time. Just running is simple and just getting out there. Those are truly wise words to go by. So, Faith, truly, thank you so much for your time here. Again, you can find Faith on Instagram under FitSafe. She also has a website. Please support Bit local business, support Black businesses. Hopefully, we can get her to come to one of our expos here in Ohio to, hint, hint, wink, wink. To her and the family come up and have that because again FitSafe truly is doing something remarkable. Thank you again so much for your time. It's truly been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me. I enjoyed having this conversation with you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.